Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Namaste, konnichiwa. Welcome to the Nupur Tewari show, Shakti, Women Who Fought Odds, presented by Heal Tokyo and Heal India. Like other weeks, this week too, we have another incredible woman, and she is Yogacharya Marycecyl. She has MSc in yoga. She had done Kundalini yoga. She had done 500 Hatha yoga courses. She had done lot of other courses, and now she's pursuing her advanced technique of meditation from Bihar School of Yoga. So her achievements are never ending, but without wasting much time, we'd like to invite here in my show, Yogacharya Marycecyl. So everyone, with big applause, let's welcome her. Namaste, konnichiwa. Welcome to the Nupur Tewari show, Shakti, Women Who Fought Odds. And Mari, this is my pleasure to have you, Yogacharya Mari. Yes. So
Namaste.
Yes, please.
It's a pleasure to be on your show.
Thank you for making time, and thank you for, I know how busy you are teaching yoga, but from that busy schedule, you made time. This is really, I feel honored. But we all have questions for you, and because we want to learn a lot of things from you. You are an inspiration. So the first question would be like, how yoga came in your life?
Everyone. Nupur, it's an honor and pleasure to be on your show. Honestly, yoga just happened to me. I never planned, or I never, decided, and I went into yoga. It just happened, and it kept happening. Neither did I ever dream that I would become, a yoga teacher. And that also, was destiny. It just happened to me. A lot of health concerns were, of course, a trigger which pushed me into the field of yoga.
That's wonderful. Like the way we say that universe has planned for you. So that, I think that health, what you said, that health problem also pushed you towards yoga. I think universe was planning to have you for us. So how yoga changed your life?
Honestly, I cannot really identify one particular area or, 2-3 particular areas, and I can say, I became fitter, or, my mind is in a much more stable state, or I am much more a happier person, or I'm much more healthier, or, there is something more, something spiritual, something divine. I really can't, bring down everything. All I can say is yoga is an experience. And to really understand what yoga can do, you really have to be on the mat and then take the practice off the mat.
Wow, how beautiful you said. You have to be on the mat, then take the practice off the mat. Wow, India is listening to you. Definitely. Not only India, I think all over the world, I think they should do the same thing, on the mat and the off the mat. So, this is, I think all over the world, especially in India, there is a lot of conflict between yoga, which is our culture, which is India, and the faith, or you can say the religion. So how do you see, Mary? Because I feel that there's your background, or maybe your present, the family you belong, that is, they have faith in Christianity. Does it anyway take you or make you think that no, this is not something I should do? Or have you ever thought that way? Or this is just like you feel this is just baseless what other people are bringing in, the religion and the culture?
See, to start with, according to me, if religion is not uniting people, it is not serving its purpose. Having said that, I studied in a convent where I studied Christianity. I studied Bible history and, catechism for like 12 years of my life. And I was taught to love Jesus. And definitely that is something which is ingrained in me. Yoga happened to me more from a health perspective, more from a practice perspective. And honestly, today, after 21 years of practice and having delved deeply into our ancient scriptures, I can tell you that every religion, be it Christianity, or be it any of the Buddhism or any of the other religions, Hinduism is one of the oldest religions known to mankind. Rig Veda is one of the oldest written scriptures which has been found till date. So every religion has taken something or the other from Hinduism. Now, having said that, Hinduism is a term which was coined much later during the British colonial era. The term which was used in our Vedas is Sanatan Dharma, eternal living. Now, tell me, where does religion come, or where does it divide people? It is all about uniting people, and Jesus strongly taught us how to love one another. And that is the very essence of Sanatan Dharma, or yoga, the foundation of which is based on Sanatan Dharma.
Wow, so beautifully you said. Yeah, this is very much, I think today's generation, they should know about it, that what we are actually. Yes, if something is not uniting us, that is not actually good for any humanity, any culture, or any, I think, civilization. And so have you, carrying a Christian name, have you ever had any problems practicing yoga?
Honestly, not really. I have learned yoga from some of the best gurus in the present day. I have studied extensively in Bangalore. I have studied in Mysore. I have studied at Rishikesh. And nowhere has my name or my belief come in the way of my practice or my learning.
Wow, wow. So this is, I think, this is the way you explained yoga, the way you were saying, very, you are very strongly saying, no, it doesn't have anything to do yoga. This is something you are doing. It has nothing to do with your name or with your faith. I think today's generation would be very much inspired by that. And this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. I just saw you, drinking water from copper. I think that was copper, right? So,
Yeah, that's a copper bottle of
could you
mine
please explain?
also.
Could you
And
please
it's
explain,
very healthy,
like,
yeah.
what kind of lifestyle are you having?
See, I try to, I won't say, I like to call myself a urban yogi because I live in an urban city, and, I really can't forget everything and go back to 5,000 years ago. But I try to, put in as much of yogic disciplines into my lifestyle. And of course, I don't like to shun the scientific knowledge that, we have gained today. So I like to bring a balance, the best of the East with the best of the West. And that's what I try to, implement in my life. And that's what I try to teach my students as well.
Okay, so the copper, do you drink water from the copper jug, or just it is?
Yes, I do. And my entire family does, because, it is scientifically proven to be very beneficial. All the drinking water
That's
from
that.
a bottle. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So your lifestyle, as you said, you're a urban yogi. So that is how we can inspire our present generation, because too much Western influence in today's generation, actually. So how we can inspire? Because Mari, look at you. You have two children. Look at you, how beautiful you are, and how beautifully you are maintaining everything. The divinity I can see inside you, even outside. You are beautiful inside and outside, both. So now, what do you think, how we can inspire today's generation to have really beautiful and peaceful life? As you said, urban yogi, how we can make more urban yogis?
See, honestly, I don't believe in the concept that the Western world, everything that is happening is bad, and that everything that we have is great. See, yogis were always a small, collective group of people in different parts of the world. And even when you look at today, especially when, Swami Vivekananda or before that, Yoganand, Paramhans Yoganand, and people like that, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi, and a lot of other divine, gurus have taken yoga to the West. Yoga is believed and practiced very sincerely in different parts of the world. And when it comes to the younger generation, definitely what has caught up with them is Hatha Yoga, the bodily practice, because yoga honestly is a spiritual practice. But when you look at, say, my daughter who's just 20 or my son who's just 24, if I ask them to sit and say, come, let's meditate, they will run away. But what they enjoy is when I tell them, come, do a downward dog. Oh, let's try, chakrasana or anything which is more physical in nature. So whichever way you can get the kid or the teenager or the young adult on the mat is absolutely okay. Because trust me, that is your starting point. And yoga has its own way of, unveiling itself. And if you are destined for the path of yoga, you are destined to reach that divinity, it will happen to you. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, that's true. But don't you find that West actually practicing more yoga than India?
Absolutely. See, what is caught up in the West is the Hatha Yoga, that is, the bodily postures. I would also say that a lot of scriptural studies have also caught up in the, I just did a course on Harvard online, and I'm doing a course on Stanford also, which is online. And when I see the way they have understood yoga, they definitely have also caught up. Now, here it is important that I just give a brief, a 2-minute understanding of what is yoga, because most people have a big misunderstanding about the discipline of yoga. So yoga basically is a technique. Now, this technique is to realize your true self. Like, you say, who am I? What is my existence? Now, when we look at the Upanishadic school of thought, they have stringed everything, you, me, and everything around in the world by Brahman, the universal consciousness. And what they are saying is that through the power of Maya, we see or we experience this world of Nama Rupa, name and form. Now, when we look at the Samkhyan school of thought, the Patanjali yoga system, which is popular to a lot of us, there they have defined the same thing as Purusha and Prakriti. Now, when we come down to the Tantric school of thought, which, on which the Hatha yoga system is based, we call that same thing Shiva and Shakti. So Shiva is that male existence, the masculine existence in each one of us, and Shakti is that feminine power, the feminine energy, which dances, which is, makes Purusha experience the cosmic dance or the way we see the universe. So since your show is named Shakti, so maybe that is Shakti, the definition of Shakti in yogic terms.
That's definitely you. You, Mari, look at you, just behind you, Om, and in front of Om, yours, just the way you are. It's nobody, I think, being a yogi, I can see that power inside you. That how you can say that after practicing so many years, maybe it develops itself, or maybe you have that power, whatever it is. I can see through this so many miles away, I can see that power that it's coming from you.
I think we all have that power. It's just that, when you water a plant, the plant grows. It's all about, how you are nourishing that seed inside you. We all have that potential inside us.
Exactly. That's very rightly you said.
Blessed to have been able to find you. Rather, I would say yoga found me, because, honestly, that first yoga class where I had gone, I had no idea what I was, stepping into. And, it just kept happening. I had no idea, absolutely. And today also, after 21 years, I still feel I know very little of yoga. There's so much. It's a vast, it's an ocean of knowledge.
True. Exactly. That's true. I feel like I really, just a drop I know. you are Yogacharya, you know so much. I feel I'm just a drop. That's why I'm so scared. Whenever I'm teaching someone, am I like the little bit I know, only little bit, I'm just trying to pass on that little bit thing I feel. So yeah, as you said, it is such a, it's an ocean. So what do you suggest today's generation, especially I would say like definitely the all over world, as you said that hatha yoga is very popular, even in Japan also hatha yoga is very popular. The spiritual part is not there, so that's why I'm trying to bring more meditation. I'm because whatever, when, as you said, that yoga is all about finding yourself, finding your true self. So the moment we find, and that time I think we all understand the purpose of our lives. So
I need to
yes.
give a small explanation here because all Hatha Yoga texts clearly tell you, even the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, which is very popular, Swatmarama, Swami Swatmarama clearly mentions that Hatha Yoga practice leads to Raja Yoga. Okay, now it's important when we look at the Bhagavad Gita, which is one of the revered texts of yoga. I mean, every chapter is on yoga. And when we look at the way Swami Vivekananda explained, so, he clearly, or Sri Krishna clearly speaks of four paths of yoga. Now, which path you will take depends on your individual temperament. So, if you're a person, who's highly emotional, the path you should choose is Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of faith and devotion. If you are a person who loves to work, Karma Yoga is your path. If you're a person with an intellectual bend of mind, Jnana Yoga is your path, the path of knowledge, and that knowledge makes you realize your true self. And if you are somebody like you, me, with a psychic bend of mind, Raja Yoga, that is the Patanjali Yoga system, is the system that we should follow. This is what has been laid down for us. We can choose either one of the paths, or we can choose, a combination of one or two and progress in the field of yoga.
Exactly. So what was your, when you realized that this is the thing I'm going to take, this is the purpose of my life, this is the yoga, I'm going to take it forward for my life. So what did you choose first?
See, honestly, I'll tell you, after the birth of both my kids, both were cesarean section deliveries. That was 20 years ago, 21 years ago. And I had put on a lot of weight. I had a lot of knee issues which had come up. I was not really able to, walk or do things much, but I wanted to lose the weight. So one fine day, there was a yoga center right opposite my son's school. So I just walked in that, okay, fine, I can't do a gym or I can't run or do things because of my knees. Let me just see what yoga has to offer. That is how I stepped into yoga. And then, obviously my priority was, bringing up my two children. So on and off, I kept doing and, stopping. And that's how it went off for quite a couple of years. Till both my kids grew big and we, decided, me and my husband, we decided to put them into boarding school. Now they went to boarding school in Bangalore. When I went to Bangalore at that time, I was, I had a lot of health concerns. So I had a metabolic syndrome, honestly, I had hypothyroidism, I had PCOD, I had osteoarthritis, I was, mildly obese. So I had a lot of issues. And obviously, my husband being from Kerala, we chose to go for Ayurvedic treatment because, the medical doctor here in Calcutta, he had told me I need immediate hysterectomy operation. And at that age, I was really not ready to, go for that operation. So while I was in my treatment, in my yogic treatment, my doctor there told me about yoga. So I told him, but I do yoga. So that is where I realized that the yoga that we practice in northern India or maybe eastern India is based, we really don't do much of asana practice. We focus more on maybe the meditative aspect. But my body with a hugely vitiated kapha needed a hardcore asana practice. That is where I got introduced to Ashtanga yoga. And, I don't know, I just caught up with it. And then, of course, where I was learning, they had a teacher's training happening. So I went ahead doing it. Then also not realizing that I would become a teacher. And then, I had friends and I had people, who I knew who had yoga studios, and they were calling me to go and teach. And every time I went, I was like, okay, so one time affair, okay, 3 days, okay, 1 week. Then I had corporate, trainings coming up. So people were calling me to come and do corporate trainings. I went ahead, I did a couple of them. Then also I never felt that this was, going to become an I would identify with this in some time. After a couple of years into this, I think some 5-6 years ago, I was at Rishikesh at Parmarth Niketan Ashram. So they were having a talk in which I met Dr. H.R. Nagendra, Guruji. So Guruji was giving his talk on, the science of yoga. And being, a person studied and modern, as I said, urban yogi, even though I found a lot of peace and quiet in the practice, I wanted to understand the science behind what I was doing. So I met Guruji after his talk at the ashram. So that is where I got introduced to, my university, where I, of course, did a yoga instructor's course. I did my MSc. And that is what took me more into, yoga research and teaching. Right now I teach undergraduate as well as postgraduate yoga courses. And of course, I do professional certification courses as well.
Wow, what a journey, which you didn't know, which you never planned actually.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Just happened.
And so that was really, really lovely talking to you, Mary. And, I think today's generation is going to be very much inspired. I think the way you said that how it started and how it took you to, and different kind of yogas also. Today, I think we need these kind of knowledge, because there are a lot of people into yoga, but the knowledge which you need, we only get from some people, like you get from Guruji. Guru Nagendra ji. So I think many of the students you are making, they are getting it from you. And those viewers who are watching, they are going to get it from you as well. So it was pleasure and honor having you on my show. So thank you so much. And I would love to have you again and again.
Nupur, it was such a pleasure to be here. And I would like to close by saying, the purpose of yoga is param sukha prapti dukkha nivritti. And the cause of suffering is because of avidya, ignorance. So yoga is the technique which will take you from ignorance to knowledge, from avidya to vidya, and which will lead you to that param sukha. So I wish everyone a bright and a prosperous future ahead. Namaste.
Namaste. So everyone, that was today's episode, Shakti, Women Who Fought Odds. And I'm sure you're enlightened and inspired as well through Mary's story. If you have stories you want to tell to the world, do write to us. And as I always say, do share these episodes, do share this Shakti season among your friends, all the girlfriends, so they can get inspired. They can feel that courage to tell their stories as well. So do share and do subscribe our channel. So until next time, do take care of yourself and love yourself too. Subratri, good night, Yasmina Sai. Namaste.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.